Hello everybody, E here. Welcome back to Stephen King Ranked. Today we are talking about books number 60 through 56. I want to apologize right off the bat. These videos have been slow coming. The reason for that is my internet isn't so great right now. Anytime I talk to my internet provider, they tell me it's due to increased usage in my area. There's nothing I can do about it. Everybody's at home, everybody's on the internet, so with that in mind, let's just jump right into it. And at number 60 is the second book to appear on this list down here at the bottom from the Dark Tower series, and that is Song of Susanna. This is a lot of people's least favorite book in the series, while Wizard and Glass from last week is a lot of people's favorite in the series. With this one, I disagree with most people why this book is bad. I agree with some of them in the same boat that I am, where they think it should have been at the end of Wolves of the Kala or at the beginning of the last book, The Dark Tower. And the reasoning for that is the story doesn't stand on its own, whereas all the rest of the books can be read, maybe not as a standalone with the complete Dark Tower story to it. They each stand alone on their own merits, I feel. Yes, even the Wastelands with the Blaine ending. With this one, the thing that I liked about it, the only thing that I liked about it was Stephen King, spoilers right now for this book, so if you haven't read this book, maybe skip ahead. Stephen King writes himself into the story, and I really, really like that, especially given the theme of the book. And that's, like I said, it's the only thing I really like about the book is the fact that he went and recreated his accident and was able to wrap up this story about stories, this story about, you know, the universes in which fiction lives, by putting himself in the book. You can complain all day long that, you know, it's narcissistic or whatever, but I mean, it's the man's work, and it covered, what, 30 years before he finally finished the thing? Probably more than that. I'm not good at math. So, this is my number 60, way down here at the bottom, but I do like it more than Wizard and Glass because it does have that one section where Stephen King wrote himself into it. Other than that, it's one of those books that I just completely forget about, even when I'm reading the Dark Tower series, and every time I get to it, I'm like, damn. But I still enjoy certain aspects. I don't enjoy any of Wizard and Glass. And at number 59, we have one of my friend's favorite Stephen King books, and hey, Landon, and that is Dreamcatcher. For the first about 200 pages of this book, I enjoyed it. Yeah, it's a whole lot of fart jokes, but I enjoyed it. I had fun. And then something happened, and it turned into it felt like Stephen King was trying to recreate the magic of It with the flashbacks to the child characters, and it also felt like an apology for Tommyknockers, as if he wanted to flesh out the Tommyknockers more and go down that one. And the only reason this one is so high, yes, I know it's still low, but so high on this list, is because of the way it ties in to the Dark Tower and the Stephen King universe, you know, all together. One of the things I will say about this is it's fun, it's funny, but he kills that after about the first 200 pages, and it starts to become a slog, and you can feel on the page that he's trying to write himself out of a situation that he got himself into, and it's just not going very well. So yeah, this one is number 59. And at number 58, we have the brother of Dreamcatcher, the youngest brother, and that is the Tommyknockers. Of course, these books are right together because they cover the same topics, they cover the same things, and they both are really good up until a certain point. In this one, I've pinpointed exactly where I start hating the book, and that is at the point where it's a chapter in there where I believe it starts with Guard went for a walk, and after that, the book just devolves. It goes places that I didn't care to read about. There are vagina tentacles in the book in the later half, and I appreciated those. Hi, Ryan. But with this one, there was so many wonderful concepts early on that just kind of petered out toward the end. And we got to see less and less of my favorite character, who was Guard. And we went into the history of Haven and went outside of Haven. And I think all the things that happened outside of Haven, I don't think those things should have been in the book whatsoever. But that's, of course, my feeling. I'm not one of those people who thinks that Stephen King overwrites. But with this one, like Dreamcatcher, it feels like he was trying to write himself out of a situation. Now, the story behind this book is that Stephen King went to rehab in the middle of this because Tabitha found all the bloody Kleenex stuffed into a trash can next to his desk and, gave him an ultimatum. At least that's the way I know the story. I've heard Stephen King tell the story at least 3 different ways. Unfortunately, he's older. He can't be trusted. Either that, or it's just a false memory, because either that, or he's just playing storyteller. There's several people who think that the story about the old woman in the supermarket that bumped into him and said, "Why don't you write nice books?" and he mentioned, "Well, I wrote to Shawshank Redemption," and she said, "No, you didn't." Everybody gets a chuckle out of that one, and a lot of people, my friend Cody in particular, doesn't believe the story. But I don't like this one for the same reason I don't like Dreamcatcher. It has nothing to do with the aliens, although both books are alien books, but they start off so well, and then they shit the bed. And that's pretty much the theme for this entire section of 5 books, is that they start off so good and then they end up going down the drain. Stephen King isn't known for writing good endings, but these ones shit the bed way before the ones higher on the list. And at number 57, we have the final book from the trilogy of trash, which is Dreamcatcher, From a Buick 8, and Cell. We have Cell. I loved this book until probably about 30-40 pages from the ending. And that should probably put it higher up on the list, but the ending pisses me off so badly that it's the same way with the Gone Girl ending. There's no wrap-up, there's no, I won't talk about the other book, but it's the same feeling that I got at the end of Gone Girl. It felt like there was more story to be told, but he was just done writing. It has some great scenes in it. The stadium or the college, whatever it is, it's been a while since I've read this one. That scene is one of my favorite scenes from Stephen King, period. But it's not bookended by bad content. It starts really good. It starts well enough, and then it gets really, really good. And then after the scene in the stadium, it just gets worse and worse and worse until the ending just completely stops. And that is like, with the Colorado Kid, I didn't enjoy any of that, and there's no ending to that book either. With this one, it pissed me off to the extent that it did, because there is no ending. But I know several people do enjoy this book, and I do too. I just wish that there was an actual ending to it. And at number 56, way down here at number 56, go ahead and get your rage comments ready. Go ahead and start screaming down there in the comments of The Green Mile. My favorite prison story from Stephen King is The Shawshank Redemption. And I think we saw everything that he had to offer in that book. But this one is kind of a reboot of it. It does have the supernatural aspect that Shawshank didn't have. And it's got some okay content in it, but this is where we hit the books that I just kind of felt meh about. And this is the epitome for me of a meh Stephen King book. All the themes he used in Shawshank are repeated here. Innocent Man, that kind of thing. The ending is a little darker than the Shawshank Redemption, but I appreciate it. I usually don't appreciate happy endings, but I appreciated Shawshank's ending more than this one. But the reason why it's here is just because, and the next couple books next week, or whenever the video actually comes out due to my internet, you'll see that these are the books that I felt about. And I don't really know much to say about them or what to say about them for that reason. This has never been high on my list. Some of Stephen King's books that I feel meh about get better or they get worse, and this one's always just been meh. So that's numbers 60 through 56. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you've read these, if any of these are your favorite or your least favorite, let me know down there in the doobly-doo. But until next time, I have been E, you have been you. This has been another Stephen King Ranked. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye!